You and your kids are on the same team. Yes, you are always on the same team as your kids, whether it feels that way or not. Now, I know that you might not always be on the same page with your kids, but remembering that you're on the same team allows for a couple different things. One, it allows for you to remember that you are all headed in the right direction, that you are all headed in the same big goal. Okay. You might not be headed in the same direction, in the right direction every single moment, but you are headed in the right direction, hopefully overall, especially if you're here watching parenting videos. Like you're working on it, your kids are too. Because overall, you want the same kids thing as your kids. You all want to be happy humans. You want to be a happy human as a parent. You want your kids to be happy humans as kids. They want to grow up and be happy. Now, there's a difference between short term happiness and long term happiness that we have to consider. Them getting everything they want every moment that they want it does not lead to long term happiness, does not lead to resiliency, which is what you want. So, there will be small moments where you guys are seemingly going in different directions, but you're not. In reality, you are still headed on the same trajectory because you're on the same team to the goal of being happy humans. So when you remember you are on the same team, even when it doesn't feel that way, because there will be moments when it doesn't feel that way. I posted a short video on LinkedIn earlier today about doing this live. And someone said, like, I know this cognitively, but it doesn't feel that way all the time. And it's true. There will be times where it doesn't feel like your kids are on the same team as you, like they are going against you. However, if you remember that them winning and you losing doesn't work well for anybody, and you winning and them losing also doesn't work well for anybody. So while it feels like you are going in opposite directions at times, you are not battling each other and you are not on opposing teams. You're on the same team, just with different perspectives in that moment. This is important so that you in your head can remember that you're always on the same team. So you don't get into that fight mode with your kids, which will help bring down your frustration with them. Ultimately, what all of this messaging is about is a way for you to keep your cool even when things are tense and hard. This is a way for you to remember to align with your kids and parent from there rather than fight with your kids and parent from that place, because that doesn't do anybody any good. And yes, you are the one who has to create the alignment because you are the grown up. It might not be fair. You might want your kids to get on board, but they're not going to go first. You have to go first, which means you remembering that you're on the same team, that you all want the same goal will help you get there. Okay, so that's number one of today. You are all on the same team. Okay, number two, when you're trying to change something that's going on with your family, especially when things are really, 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 really hard, I want you to remember that all behavior can change. All behavior can change. It is possible. The amount of time it takes, the amount of effort it takes, the specific tools, those are all variables that you have to figure out for your particular family in any given situation because it might change. Some days I'm able to do something with more ease and grace than others. Sometimes it will take me a week to learn to do something. Other times it will take me a year to learn how to do something. The time frame and the tools to change behavior, to change structures, to change the culture of your family will vary. But the fact that all behavior can change, that everything is possible, that doesn't change. So I want to make sure that as you think about the fact that you and your kids are on the same team, you also remember that any of these behaviors that make you feel like they are on the other side from you are changeable and shiftable. Because when you remember that, then you start getting curious, your mind turns on, and you start to problem solve as opposed to saying, nope, we are enemies, this is awful, and going in different directions. Remember that everything is changeable. All behavior can change. Okay, so that's number two. And then number three is I want you to shift, and I'm going to give you a tool to help you shift the expectations of course, my child should just be doing this. Of course, they know how, so therefore they should. That's not how it always works. There is a difference between cognitive knowledge, as in knowing an idea in our head and understanding it and being able to talk about it outside of that moment, and applied knowledge, which is knowledge in the moment, being able to do the thing that we know is the right thing to do. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example for me. I know that ice cream for breakfast, while tastes delicious, does not set me up for a great day. I end up having a sugar crash. Sometimes I end up with a stomach ache. And yet, if there is ice cream in my fridge, I will eat it. It's just how it goes. I don't have the self control to keep ice cream in my house and eat it. Could I learn that behavior? Yep. Is it worth the effort it would take to learn that self control? Nope. I just do the self control when I go food shopping and don't keep it in my house. This is the same for your kids. Your kids can tell you, I shouldn't hit. Your kids can tell you, I should listen. Your kids can tell you, yes, I brush my teeth before bed. Cognitive knowledge. Yet when it is time for them to go do that, to go use their words instead of their hands, to go brush their teeth before bed, their applied knowledge may not be as good. So if your child does not demonstrate a particular behavior like using their words instead of their hands, more than 80% of the time, I would say they haven't mastered it as an applied skill. Therefore, you are in a teaching phase. You have to teach them what that behavior is rather than expecting them to do it. Because when you expect them to do it and then they don't, then you're back in your battle and you've decided you're on opposite sides of the field. If you say, oh, wait, this is not something that my child has ever consistently done. Oh, I guess I need to teach them this. Then you remember it's not a skill they have, even if they can talk about it. Then you remember you have to teach them. Just like if you want there to be ice cream in my freezer, I will eat it for breakfast because that's what happens. So when you come over and you bring me ice cream, know that we're going to have it for breakfast the next morning if we don't finish it that night, because that's just how it goes. That is the same with your kid, because if you just get mad at me for eating your breakfast in the morning, your ice cream in the morning for breakfast, I can't help you. I don't have that skill set yet. Just like your kids don't always automatically brush their teeth before going to bed. They just don't have that skill, that applied skill yet. So you need to teach them. And that teaching looks like breaking it down into small steps and celebrating those successes. So in order to feel like you are on the same team with your child more often, you need to get realistic about what are their cognitive skills, the things they know and talk to you about, versus their applied skills, the things they're going to share with you that they are just doing, that you see they regularly are able to do. You may have taken the time to teach your child to tie their shoes. Awesome. Let that be. Then after they know how to tie it, then they can tie their shoes on their own. That same process needs to go for all sorts of things. Listening skills, using our words instead of our hands when we have big feelings, following directions. So you are on the same team with your kids. You might just have to teach them some of the skills that they're currently doing differently than you expect. And when you just expect, then you get frustrated. I don't want you to be frustrated with your kids all the time. And I'm hoping that this video will help you be a little less frustrated a little more of the time. Because when you're less frustrated, it feels like you're on the same team, even if you're going in different directions. Okay? So 3 things for today. You are on the same team as your kids, always, even when you don't feel that way. All behavior can change. Will lead you to being curious about what are the tools I need to use in order to change this behavior. And 3, remember the difference between applied knowledge and cognitive knowledge. Because until it is applied knowledge, your kids may not be demonstrating that behavior, and you may be getting frustrated for something that they don't really know how to do. Sound good? You got it? If you have questions about this, please ask. Put them in the comments below. I will check them and personally answer them for you. And if you have another question that you would like answered on my Wednesday Wisdoms, let me know, because that is what I'm here for. And finally, if you have not subscribed to my channel, why not? join us. Be the first to know when I go live on Wednesdays and when I post new videos. And if you found this video helpful, please like it, because the more engagement I get, the more YouTube shares this with other people. And my whole goal is to put tips and tools and strategies out into the world to help families and humans be happier and live better lives. So with that, I will say thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, and go do something amazing. And I'll see you next time.